Ciao tutti, hello. Are you ready to cook like an Italian? I sure hope so, because we're going to have fun today. We are cooking out of my own cookbook, Mama and Me and You. We are going to make my mama's homemade ravioli. My mom and dad had a very famous restaurant in Lake Tahoe in the 50s and 60s, and they did all the wrap parties for all the Rat Pack and Jimmy Durante and Liberace and Clark Gable and Elvis Presley, you name it. When I was a little girl, I met them all. But this melt-in-your-mouth ravioli is something else. Today we're going to make cheese and spinach ravioli. And then later we're going to have a little dessert. We're going to do some tiramisu. I want to thank my sponsors, Queen Creek Olive Mill in Queen Creek, Arizona, because we're using their amazing estate olive oil today. It's an award winner, and they are just doing gangbusters in Arizona and across the country with their 12,000 olive trees, 16 different varieties. There's balsamics and oils and dips and rubs and all sorts of things. And I also want to thank the Arizona Farm Bureau for teaching me how to cook farm to table, get to know my the farmers in our state. It makes all the difference in the world. Okay, ravioli, here we go. You're going to make your own dough. So the dough is flour, eggs, water, olive oil, and salt. If you've got those, you can have pasta anytime. I made that ahead because I had to rise for about an hour, so it's all ready to go. The filling. You know that when you buy a great big bag of spinach, it's going to reduce down to nothing. So I got that cooking with butter, shallot, a little bit of garlic, and that extra virgin olive oil from Queen Creek. I sauteed that up and then I cooled it down. That goes into a bowl with ricotta, Parmigiano cheese, fresh garlic. You're never going to buy the garlic in a jar. Promise me, you're going to chop it fresh. Okay? All right, I'm coming after you if you don't. An egg and salt, pepper, and red pepper flakes. And that is the filling. Okay? So we've got our pasta dough ready to roll out. We've got our filling. I'm going to get the pasta machine set up, and when we come back, we're making Mama's ravioli. Okay, I've got my pasta machine all ready to go. If you want to do something very special for your kids, buy them a pasta machine. It's so much fun, and they get instant gratification of making homemade pasta. So today we're doing the ravioli dough. Now, I want you to remember the formula on the pasta machine: 1, 3, 5, and 7. 1, 3, 5. So I'm going to start it on 1, which is the whitest part, and I'm rolling that out. And then I will continue 1, 3, 5. Now, I just want to remind you of something. When you're making pasta dough from scratch, you need a lot of flour. Don't worry about over flouring it. You cannot. You don't want it to get stuck in the pasta machine. And this will just really help guide it. This is a flour wand. I've used this on the show a whole lot, and people love it. It just grabs the flour and it just rains it very lightly. So this is so important. Okay, I'm going to run this through one more time. Beautiful, nice and thin. This is perfect. And as you go from 1, 3, 5 to 7, your dough is going to get a lot bigger. So you kind of want to cut it a manageable size. Okay, that's good. Beautiful. It's about 4 inches wide. And now I'm going to take my filling, which is the ricotta, the Parmesan, the spinach, the shallot, a little salt, pepper, red pepper flakes, butter, and I'm going to take about a heaping teaspoon, and I'm just going to put it on basically the lower third. And I want to space it about 1 inch apart, just like that. You don't want to fill your ravioli too full because you don't want it to fall apart in your hot water. By the way, I've got my water boiling with a tablespoon of salt. Why am I adding a tablespoon of salt? Because I want to flavor that pasta all the way through, and the salt actually helps the water to boil a little bit quicker. Okay, I've got my filling all set out. Now I'm just going to bring it over, fold it over just like that, tuck it away for the night. Okay, and now with my hands, I'm going to press down to create those ravioli pockets. Okay, now I want to make sure and really seal the edges, and with homemade pasta, it's so easy to do that. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to take my ravioli roller and I'm going to give it just a really pretty edge. Zip it here, zip it, zip it, zip it, zip it, and zip it. Okay, and there we go. Homemade ravioli, ready to go in the hot boiling water. And as you know, with homemade dough, it's only going to take about 2 or 3 minutes to cook. You want a soft rolling boil. You don't want it to be real aggressive so they fall apart. Okay, I'm going to finish up the ravioli. We'll put them in the pot. I've got some of Mama's bolognese on the stove that we will serve it with, and we will have a delicious Italian meal coming right back. Okay, I've got all my ravioli all ready to go, and here's a great tip. If you're making the ravioli from scratch, put them in the freezer or in the refrigerator just to harden up a little bit. And that way, when you plop them in the hot water, they're not going to fall apart. So these are nice and, I've got them nice and frozen. I'm going to plop these in, and you know when ravioli are done when they pop up to the surface. When they pop up to the surface, they are pretty much done. So I'm going to get these ravioli into my boiling water with 1 tablespoon of salt. I want a nice gentle boil for these. Now they're starting to cook nicely. I've got my Mama's bolognese sauce, her meat sauce, which we've done on earlier shows. And you can always find these recipes on my website at jandiatri.com or in my cookbook, which you can find there as well. Also, the spatuloons are there and they're fantastic. By the way, I just need to taste this. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to finish getting these in. I'm going to go get some Parmesan cheese and we will plate this up for you. We're cooking like an Italian. Okay, the ravioli have popped up to the surface. They are done. I made some meat sauce, my Mama's bolognese. In earlier shows, I showed you that you know your sauce is done when the dark oil comes up from the center, and there it is right there. You can see it. When you see the dark oil, it's done. Don't overcook. So I always like to put a little bit of sauce on the bottom of my bowl. Just give it someplace for those beautiful ravioli to nest. Now I'm going to very gently, because when you make homemade pasta, it's very, very delicate. Oh, but these are going to melt in your mouth. I tell you, the pasta machine is really the way to go. It's so much fun. You can do all different pasta shapes, just like that. And we'll add a few more. Do you see what I'm saying? The reason why you really want to freeze them if you can is because they'll really hold up in that water. I'm going to add just a few more. I would say 6 or 7 ravioli per serving is a good estimate, unless you're Italian, and then you're going to have 40, right? And then you're going to complain about eating 40 while you talk about the next meal. That's just what happens. Okay, there we go. That should be plenty. Now I'm going to load it up on top with some more meat sauce. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Is this comfort food? Do you know now why Italian food is always so popular? Because it is comfort food at its finest. I would love to thank my sponsors today, Queen Creek Olive Mill, for providing the most beautiful olive oil and balsamics, and also to the Arizona Farm Bureau for really teaching us how to cook farm to table and really enjoying what's coming out of our soil. You can find these recipes in my cookbook, and you can find the cookbooks at jandiatri.com along with lots of other recipes. And then the finishing touch, my Mama's 90-year-old cheese grater. Yes, that's what it is. And it's got 90 years of smell because we never clean the basket. Why would you? Okay. Ooh, I'm getting a little excited there. Can you tell? Come on into the kitchen and have some ravioli with me. There we go. Oh my goodness. Give this a try. You're going to love it. Homemade pasta. There's nothing like it. And we will see you next time when we cook like an Italian. Welcome back to Cook Like an Italian. And if you're going to be in an Italian kitchen and you want to make a dessert, you might want to think about tiramisu. Super popular, as you know. Tiramisu translated in Italian is pick me up. And so it picks you up your energy. It's got Kahlua and it's got espresso and whipped cream and mascarpone and beautiful lady fingers and eggs. So it's just a lot of fun to put together. So it starts with some espresso, and if you're using granulated espresso powder, you want to dilute that, and then also some Kahlua. So I'm going to combine those two because I'm going to dunk the cookies in there. I have tempered the eggs. You never want to use the raw eggs for something for a cold dessert. So I tempered them in a double boiler for about 8 minutes. I wanted the eggs to become 165 degrees. So think of chicken as 165 degrees for cooking, and also for eggs if you're tempering. That is tempered with a little bit of sugar. Okay, so I've got that already and that's cooled down. So the next thing I'm going to do is take my lady fingers and I'm going to dunk them in that combination of espresso and Kahlua. You don't need to dunk them for very long. I would say maybe 3 or 4 seconds. They're going to absorb very, very quickly. So what I want to do is just put them right next to each other. These are going to be fantastic. The one thing about tiramisu is you have to kind of think ahead because it needs to refrigerate overnight so it sets up. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's not one of those desserts that you could make in a jiffy. So I'm just finishing up with the tiramisu. I'm going to do 2 layers today. There we go. I am going to finish soaking and putting all these in my casserole, and when I come back I will whip together all of the filling and then we'll top it and put it in the fridge. We're cooking like an Italian here. Lady fingers are all soaked in the Kahlua and espresso. Got my first layer down, and now for the filling. So I'm going to add some whipped cream and some mascarpone. You want to get that mascarpone just a little bit room temperature. And then the eggs that we have tempered to 165 degrees. These are tempered over a double boiler with a little bit of sugar. And then all of this gets mixed up together. Super easy. You just kind of want to fold it in. Boy, that is delightful. It's not super sweet because it doesn't have sugar. It's got the whipped cream with a little bit of powdered sugar in it. Excuse me. Alrighty, that looks super good. Alrighty, I don't want to deflate the whipping cream, so I'm just gonna. That's lovely. So this is going to go right on top of the first layer. It's just a lovely, if you're going to do a traditional Italian dessert, boy, you better put this one on your list because this is a good one. I have seen in the last couple of years so many different iterations of tiramisu. I've seen strawberry tiramisu, but the traditional is the espresso. Now I've got that layer, so I'm going to go ahead and put the second layer down. And when I come back, we will plate it up and you will see how your tiramisu will look. It's lovely. We'll be right back. Our Italian meal is complete. Homemade ravioli with the spinach and cheese filling. Tiramisu, which is so beautiful. And I'm just going to finish it off just with my flower wand. I love it. See, I'm using it for cocoa powder as well. just to give that a little bit of a finishing touch. Right there, you can find these recipes in my cookbook, Mama and Me and You. You can find this and the flour wand and all sorts of information on my website at jandiatri.com. And I want to serve the tiramisu today with a little cappuccino cup that I made with a pizzelle, a waffle cone, and a pretzel, and I stuck it all together with dipping chocolate. How about that, right? Okay, there's your meal for today. Thank you so much for letting me share my Italian heart with you. I hope you make these dishes. I want to thank the Arizona Farm Bureau and also Queen Creek Olive Mill as my great sponsors. We will see you next time when we cook like an Italian.